Hello everyone! Today I will make a presentation about the identity and foreign policy from a post-structuralist perspective. All my information is based on Chapter 11 by Lynn Hansen, Post-structuralism theory. Today I will focus on the intricate relationship between identity and foreign policy, again through the lens of post-structuralism. So this approach challenges us to reconsider not just how nations interact, but also how these interactions shape and are shaped by the identities of the nations that are involved. Firstly, let's focus on the post-structuralism theory itself. We need to understand what is post-structuralism. So post-structuralism within the context of international relations can be concisely defined as a theoretical approach that challenges the foundational assumptions of traditional international relations theories like realism, liberalism, and etc. It emphasizes the contingent, constructed nature of identities, interests, and power relations, arguing that these are not fixed or natural but are instead created and maintained through discursive practices. Post-structuralism interrogates how language, narratives, and discourses shape our understanding of world politics, suggesting that, for example, reality itself is constituted through these discourses. So this approach encourages a critical examination of the ways in which knowledge, truth, and power are intertwined and how they influence global political dynamics. This approach allows for a more nuanced understanding of the role of foreign policy in identity formation and overall international relations. Let's move further to the role of foreign policies in identity construction. According to the post-structuralist theory, foreign policies play a central role in shaping the understanding of the state and constituting its identity. This is achieved through the construction of threats, dangers, and challenges that define the other. For example, a country's foreign policy towards a perceived hostile state can significantly shape its own identity. The representation of others is very crucial as it not only affects how we perceive them, but also how we perceive ourselves. Such representations are decisive for the foreign policies that we choose. For example, here we can look at the case of Israel's foreign policy towards Palestine, which is significantly shaped by historical conflict, territorial disputes, and also religious differences. Identity as performative. What does it mean? In post-structuralism, identity is viewed as relational and performative. So this means that identities do not have an objective existence but depend on discursive practices. These identities are socially real, but they require constant reproduction to maintain their realness. For instance, national identities are continuously reinforced through media, education, and other societal institutions. In this context, foreign policies serve a more dual role. They are both a product of these identities and also a justification for their own existence. Now, to understand this more, let's look at the case study of European Union and Turkey. The constant debate over Turkey's potential membership in the European Union serves as a prime example of post-structuralist theory in action. This debate is not arbitrated by an objective European identity. Instead, European identity is defined and redefined through the debates over Turkey's membership application. So this discourse on Turkey does not start from scratch but builds on historically powerful constructions of Europe as white, Christian, civilized, and modern. Moving further, we look at the constitutive relationship between identity and foreign policy. The relationship between identity and foreign policy is not causal, but constitutive, according to post-structuralism. And basically, this means that foreign policies are made with reference to understanding of identity that are to some extent already in place. For example, a country's foreign policy towards another may be influenced by historical relations, cultural perceptions, or political ideologies. Here I provided the example of China's foreign policy towards Taiwan, which is shaped by historical claims and also cultural perceptions. And the last example here of case study is Russian discourse on Crimea. Russian President Vladimir Putin's discourse on Crimea provides another illustrative example of how foreign policy and identity are closely intertwined. Putin's discourse constructs Russia and Crimea as sharing a long history of shared identity, thereby justifying Russia's actions in the region. Moreover, Russia is constructed as a democratic and civilized country committed to good neighborly relations with other states, constructing the Western narrative of Russia as an aggressor. And finally, performative theory of identity and foreign policy. The performative theory of identity extends the understanding of foreign policy beyond just the policies undertaken by states in the international arena. It includes discursive practices that constitute something as foreign in relation to the self. This approach allows post-structuralism to investigate identities that are not so radically different from the self, involving several others, and to eliminate the complex dynamics involved in foreign policy and identity formation.